Yeah. Okay.
No, I just realized that after we're recording, my back always hurts because I'm sitting in between the cushions. I don't have a cushion, just like,
one cushion.
That's probably why I'm shifting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, Tommy one cushion. Tommy one cushion with the
Tommy one cushion. Yeah, I did.
Oh man,
take that, man. That's good for me, unless you got something.
I had something. I can save it, but that's actually Tommy one cushion.
Tommy one cushion. Cushion zero. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and
Jacob's mixtape.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
We're here again. With you.
I just realized how weird and kind of like tired and caffeinated I am.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It works though. We're talking about a weird movie.
This is a very weird movie, and I wanted to find so much more about this movie.
It was hard. I went even on a deep dive too, and I was like, it's kind of hard to really, know what the hell happened with this.
I think I found the most coherent reason or like thing of how and why, where, when, how, why.
Why
who.
did this happen?
Yeah.
So, as our promo said, we are doing 1997's Warriors of Virtue.
Oh shit! I'm joking.
I'm waiting one day. One day, especially when we plan it out. As far as
I know.
We've really planned out our schedule for the foreseeable future. So one day it's gonna. Okay.
We're talking about two completely different movies today. No.
So I'm gonna tell you about this movie. You're gonna tell me about the other movie.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Warriors of Virtue. Came out 1997, specifically May 2nd, 1997. Box office blah. Do you want to give us a synopsis?
Yeah. A little long-winded today, but I liked it. A young boy and anamorphic kung fu kangaroos work together to stop an evil warlock in the fantastical world of Toa.
Tao.
Sorry. Tao. Yep, you're right. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's not right. Tao. I'm very white. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of that this episode.
You had to. It's like
I was confident too. That level of confidence there.
It's great. It's like we just did like two movies. Well, I guess this is more martial arts than Unleashed was. Its own right.
Oh, like from like an ideology standpoint. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, buddy. Okay.
What? Not in this country, it ain't. You know what I'm talking about.
God. Okay. How many movies did you watch in 1997?
39.
Had 51.
Okay.
And I could have gone actually more, but I was like, I don't remember watching it, but I can tell you everything that kind of happens in it.
There was definitely movies that I was like, I definitely saw this as a child, but I can't tell you anything about it. So I'm not
like there's like a
it.
scene burned in your memory.
Yeah,
like
really...
The Jackal with Bruce Willis. I remember watching that as a kid because he's like a villain and Jack Black's in it, and Jack Black plays like a weapon stealer for his like maniacal like bullshit. And I remember
I'm really into this.
And the scene burned in my memory is Bruce Willis telling him to like go, like he's like targeting on him with like this rocket launcher, and he tells Jack Black just like go stand over there, hold out your arm, and Jack Black's like, I don't want to do, and he's like, no, it's good, just do it, and he blows off his arm. Like evil Bruce Willis.
That sounds. I like that idea a lot, actually. Yeah. Well, because even like, there's on the same kind of note, like Scream 2. Mm-hmm. I know I've seen it, but I'm like, is that the college one? Is that the
it's the college one?
But the Scream franchise, besides the first one, blend into this kind of weird slasher blob to me, so I didn't count it because I was like, I think that's the college one, but I don't really remember. So
it's the copycat one.
Oh, Timothy
Olyphant.
Yeah. Okay, mm-hmm. Yeah, my man.
Yeah, you do.
I really do.
Okay. Well, let's get back on track with Warriors of Virtue.
Yeah, let's talk about this thing.
So to begin with, actually, I just want to so let's talk about the creation of this.
Conception.
Because it was really hard to find where, how, who, what, when, like I was saying. But I eventually found in the writer's IMDb bio, actually, the possible connection of this. So this was created by the Law brothers. There's 4 brothers, last name Law. They have Law Brothers Entertainment, which doesn't exist anywhere on the internet except for connected to this movie.
And the sequel?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it would have to, right?
But like it's connected. It's more like characters created by.
Okay.
You know, I don't think. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me just take a look. Warriors of Virtue: The Return to Toa. Yeah, no, because the sequel, the direct DVD sequel, is an Australian film. Like,
I kind of want to watch it,
dude.
Really curious. I feel like it's like Mortal Kombat and then Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, dude, yeah, right.
Oh my god.
So, we'll go into like director after this. I will also, but this was written. So yeah, created by the Law brothers, 4 brothers:
Dennis, Ron, Chris, and Jeremy Law.
Thank you.
Which are all doctors.
They're all doctors?
Yeah. Like if you look at if you go into like the cast and crew, like the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, Ron, Christopher,
MD, MD, all Law MD. Oh no, the last name's all sorry. They're all doctors. Yeah, MD.
Okay, they're not lawyers.
No, their last name is Law, and I just
because what's frustrating was like every time I looked up Law brothers, there's these brothers that are lawyers, and they are the Law brothers.
No, these are doctors.
Yeah,
that had never made a movie before, and still haven't made a movie after it. Okay, so I'm beating around the bush. Okay, focus.
Michael Vickerman, who wrote the screenplay for this, who ended up writing. He's written a good amount of like TV movie stuff. Like he actually, this was one of his. This was more or less kind of his like earliest, if not his first.
Nothing stood out to me.
Yeah. So he began working as like a production assistant for Sylvester Stallone's White Eagle Entertainment. And Stallone read a screenplay that Vickerman had written for a school project and then asked him to like come write for his company. And then so he did some like rewrites on like fucking like Cliffhanger and like other like Sylvester Stallone. He's uncredited for these. Shortly after he graduated, he was hired by Law Brothers Entertainment to write and develop both a screenplay and a children's book for their toy creation, Kung Fu Kangaroos. The movie became Warriors of Virtue. And then over the next 15 years, Vickerman wrote and directed and produced 18 films. So yeah, he was approached by the Law Brothers. They were like, we have this idea for Kung Fu Kangaroos. Can you create something with this? There may have been more to it because of the whole like Taoist like mentality and like lore put in this, and that could have also been Michael Vickerman,
I like that
creating something.
I like that I accidentally called them Kung Fu Kangaroos. I didn't know there was actually like a connection. That was just off the top.
Well, I think it's in quotations for their toy creation, Kung Fu Kangaroos, which then became the Warriors of Virtue. Yeah.
So is this just the idea of like a merchandise cash cow?
It sounds like it. Yeah.
It does, right? It
yeah.
Just sounds like they wanted a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
/ Power Rangers. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's
Street Shark thing. Yeah.
Which also makes perfect sense because this script is a kid's movie.
It is. This makes Page Master look Oscar worthy.
Woof. It's like, whoa. But yeah, so it's that. I mean, out of all of the, like the deep diving that I tried, that was like the most I could find. Which I was happy to just like. I stumbled across that this morning before we were.
Oh, really?
Yeah, while I was leaving, just like looking around, just seeing if I could find anything more. And boom, I was like, oh, dude, okay, that explains a little bit. That makes me feel better.
Well, because then we kind of talk about this in one of the reboot episodes of just like these certain things were created to make merchandise, to sell toys.
Well, there was a lot of things that were created because of the toys.
Yeah.
Like G.I. Joe, like the show G.I. Joe, that they did that to revamp the G.I. Joe action action figure. Transformers were the toy first, then the show.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like Mattel ended up having this idea of like, we'll have a toy line, and then that toy line, we need to have a show connected to it.
How history repeats itself.
Right.
Barbie.
Well, that's different. No, that's
no, but like, didn't Mattel just like announce that they were gonna do a bunch of like?
And they're missing the fucking point of what the Barbie movie is about.
But yeah, I mean, they're like, hey, remember we used to do this?
Yeah.
Let's keep doing it.
Yeah. What is there's a Netflix documentary, the toys that made us.
You've talked about that a couple times.
Yeah. No, that documentary, so the series itself talks about that, because like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, although that was first the comic, and then like it got a toy line, and then it became it became what it was. So yeah, this is definitely in that like bracket idea of like, if we have a really cool toy line idea, we could make a movie, and then the both can sell together, and we'll be rich millionaires. Go Law Brothers. Go Law Brothers. Cut me off.
I'm just real quick. I wanted to see like what the actual toys look like.
They probably look exactly like the fucking things.
They're actually weirdly close.
Yeah, because they looked like toys in the movie.
Well, I know, but like a lot of time you get them and they're all like, kind of like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think, this is 1997. Toys at this point are actually a lot better than what, if you remember, of like the old like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s and early 90s, where
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, if I was like at a thrift store and I saw any of these, I'd immediately grab them up.
Oh, you'd have to.
They'd be rad, right?
It's like,
to have the whole collection of them.
Dude, they're probably worth money.
It doesn't look like
no, like the entire collection together.
Like you
could like sell that to like a weird dude that wants to collect stuff like that.
Well, like
That's us. They're gonna rip us off. We're gonna be the people buying it for thousands of dollars.
Ye on eBay is like $50.
Fair. All right. So yeah, this was written by Michael Vickerman, and also there's another writing credit, fucking Hugh Kelley, and he's only credited for this movie, and then and two other movies, Cage and Cage 2 with starring Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno,
about a Vietnam vet survived like a brain trauma, but then like goes into like a cage, like.
And the cover looks
life
really,
or death, man. I don't know. I was like,
the cover looks really like rip off Rambo.
Yeah, dude. I strangely really want to watch it. Just I want to see how bad it is, but like it's also like I don't know. And they're both written by Hugh Kelley, so I'm like, who the fuck is Hugh Kelley? Like, what the fuck? What is this movie?
Just Lou Ferrigno. I was like, oh, okay.
And he's in both of them.
Yeah.
Anywho, okay.
This must have been after Hulk, right? I didn't look at the date.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Or around the time.
Let's go to our director.
Yeah.
Ronny Yu.
I spelled Ron Yu.
Ron Yu.
It's Ronny Yu. Yeah. Who odd directing trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Very weird. Known for such movies as Bride of Chucky, Freddy vs. Jason, Fearless.
Yeah, with Jet Li.
Which you're like, what?
Well, because he started out as a Hong Kong film director, so he did a lot of wuxia film and like actual like martial arts films. But it was actually I was reading about this.
Well, because also like just real quick for like everyone listening too, this was actually an interesting meld of MGM and then a Chinese state studio. What were they called again? I can't remember.
China Film Corp co-production.
Yeah.
Is that here? Yeah. China Film co-production. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was this interesting blend.
China Film Co-Production Corporation,
which was a state-owned studio, like state-owned, like China owned it.
Yeah, because this was filmed in Hong Kong, right? Or in China. If I remember reading.
I think it started. It started and then they took a hiatus for like a minute.
Yeah, the animatronics. I didn't really look much into the animatronics. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I thought they were spooky.
Yeah.
They were kind of spooky looking.
Actually, I got something for that in a minute, but Yeah, I thought this was film. I thought this was some of this was or most of this was. Yeah, no. I remember it's not in here. It was in the fucking pamphlet of your DVD. Did you read that?
No, I have it. If you want to take a pause, I can go grab it real quick.
No.
I left it here.
I remember reading it like because they go into like the history of the like the animatronics and the puppets and them filming, and it's like, and the dedicated cast would sit in freezing water up to their knees, and I'm like, what? You're torturing these people for this movie? This sounds like a nightmare.
Well, yeah, so the Law brothers were surgeons by trade. This was says here. Their father, Joseph Law, was a wealthy toy manufacturer in China who put most of the reported budget into, and then MGM distributed, so I guess MGM distributed the film and sunk about $20 million on prints and advertising. Wow,
Okay.
This was a $56 million movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. I didn't realize that.
So, yeah, what's interesting is like, so Ronny Yu directed this before he got like, popular with Bride of Chucky and then like Freddy vs. Jason, which makes sense because he was still doing like martial arts stuff. This is kind of like his weird bridge, it looks like. Mm-hmm. But he got to Bride of Chucky because the producers of the Child's Play franchise saw his movie, The Bride with the White Hair, and were really impressed with his direction in that. And it's kind of like his way of like doing a weird retelling of a Chinese novel, as like also like a wuxia film. Then he was like, it feels more like a Romeo and Juliet story, so he kind of took a bunch of liberties with it. So like, yeah, he, that's how he moved over into doing like the horror stuff. I don't know. He's got a really a very strange, film or a career trajectory, and he hasn't really done anything since Fearless, right? Oh no, he is. Yeah, wait.
Most recently, Saving General Yang in 2013 for directing,
and then an episode of Fear Itself, which So yeah, I think it's definitely like in for American cinema or Western cinema, Bride of Chucky and Freddy vs. Jason and probably Fearless are the things that he's probably most recognized for. Mm-hmm. And then this. It's like this weird ass movie.
And so is Freddy vs. Jason.
I love that movie.
Fucking weird shit in there. That's one of my favorite Freddy quotes that I will not repeat on this podcast, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
Is it offensive?
Oh, yeah. What is
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The other. That one?
Yeah.
The other. I never noticed it until we were playing it at work, and the subtitles were on. I was like, he just said what?
Yep.
It's like, God damn it, Freddy.
Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, animatronics. Let me get into that. So before we get into starring, just really quick, the people that did the puppeteering and all of the like character effects, animatronics, was provided by Tony Gardner and his company Alterian, which he's done. Tony Gardner and Alterian have done stuff for like Zombieland, 127 Hours, Hairspray, Smokin' Aces, Bad Grandpa, Seed of Chucky, The Addams Family. Actually, this.
I meant to look up Tony, but I totally forgot about it.
I'll just click on his name real quick. Gardner helped create the signature helmets for Daft Punk.
Okay.
Yeah, so for them, he's they had for the animatronics. Also, we're gonna talk shit about these animatronics. It is actually super impressive what they did with it.
No, the animatronics are cool. They're just terrifying looking because how they were designed. They're
an anthropomorphic fucking kangaroo.
You know what it is though? They're not fuzzy. They don't.
It looks like weird felt. And sometimes
it's
I don't know,
skin, but then they have hair. I don't know. There's they don't look like
the female Roo confuses me.
No, she reminded me of
Blade Runner.
No, Star Trek, the Borg leader.
Oh, I can see that too.
Yeah, that very kind of pale, I don't know. That's what she reminded me of.
She reminded me of the female from Blade Runner, the female replicant, the blonde one.
The one that does the spray paint?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
I just, every time I see her, I'm like, why does she look just like that to me? She looks exactly like it.
I mean, it could just be triggering, like, because like for me, like I know that was more of Star Trek.
Yeah,
like First Contact was like something I watched a lot as a kid.
Oh, that one? You're not talking about the
woman Borg, the leader.
I thought you were talking about the Borg captain, like half Borg captain.
No. The one that it's like a head and a spine.
Yeah, I see that a little bit more. Actually.
Yeah. That's
why I was like, okay, I guess no, I see that what you're saying.
Yeah, the one that's trying to fuck Data. Sorry, that was really crude.
I don't think she's trying to give him experience emotion. It's like, is she trying?
It's pretty sexual.
I guess.
Remember she puts the skin on his arm and she like,
sensory over the.
It's pretty sexual in a weird.
And Data has a computer orgasm.
Yeah, it's pretty.
00110.
It's like a weird Friends joke. 7 0 1 0 0. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that, everyone. That was
fucking funny. Okay. So yeah, animatronics actually like a Alterian, like an actual like big company that.
And they're cool. Like they're. You also got to think about it too, especially in these kind of movies. Like, God, just imagine.
That's why they fucking threw money at this, is because there was a toy line.
Yeah, I thought we covered that.
No, I mean, we were talking about it, but like it fully just like the gears just like, hey Jacob.
Which like think about it too. In '97, like with all these other the amount of toys for these properties, we were at printing money.
What's crazy is like for '97, I feel like this is the tail end of like the toy craze. It's like the peak and tail end. You know what I mean? It's like Beanie Babies had their thing in the mid '90s. I feel like
this is coming on a
because like, and I feel like you can follow that trend with like Happy Meals and stuff, and like the popularity of their toys. Once like Happy Meals toys started to trend down, and it just turned into nothing but Pokemon.
Or even it became like weird, like the Backstreet Boys spliced with Power Rangers, spliced with sports.
It was Backstreet Boys spliced with Spice Girl. Oh no, there was spliced with sports too. Yeah. Power Rangers, I don't think so.
No, I remember
they did do one like that, didn't they?
Yeah, they're all wearing.
You're unlocking weird memories in my
remember
brain.
one of them, like JC or whoever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know them enough. But like one of them's holding like a basketball and his hand's like on fire and he's wearing like a red suit. He kind of looks like a Power Ranger, and it's like they're like trying. It was also during that we got to get kids outside and exercising, and sports are cool. And do you remember that
sports ball?
You know, it was that weird, but they like made this weird melding abomination of like anything popular and made it into a kid's toy where you're like, huh? Even like Street Sharks is the weirdest fucking.
But Street Sharks is like 1991, 1992.
I know, but still, it's like
we have an entire decade.
I know, but we're saying like, we're gonna get sharks, we're gonna mutate him, and he's gonna have roller skates.
Yeah, but that's also a knockoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and like Power Rangers starting to get popular.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about the knockoffness of it. And
it's like the knockoff of the knockoff of the knockoff.
It's the every time you copy a copy, it gets worse and worse. It's like that's what it is. Because just think, I think that I guess long-winded. What I'm saying is like, it is at this plummet because of like toys and everything. Because it was just so oversaturated with these conglomerations of so many different things, you know. And parents are like, I'm tired of buying this Furby shit,
right? Okay, let's reel it all back in because, like, I mean, it makes sense for us to be kind of going off on this tangent because of the nature of this movie and the history that we just learned, you know. Okay, so starring really not a big, well-known cast. With strangely, yes, I don't know. Let's start with the kid.
The kid,
Mario
Yedidia. Mario Yedidia, who plays Ryan.
Yeah.
Who was in Jack. Who was George?
Yeah, he was his friend. He's the one that actually became really good friends with him.
That was him? I thought that kid's name was like Benny or something.
Or maybe he was just one of the friends.
I think he was just one of the friends. I don't think it was the main kid. The main friend.
Yeah. And then I remember him mainly probably actually from Under Wraps.
The hell is Under Wraps? Is that mummy thing?
Yeah, it's a Disney original movie.
Dude, it's so funny. This whole 90s kick is really like unlocking weird memories where I'm like, I don't remember that movie, but I remember there's a mummy in it.
I freaking loved it. Looking at it. Oh, yeah. No, I think his best friend was Louis. Why am I going down a rabbit hole of Jack? Jacob, focus.
Yeah, focus. Okay.
I'm doing you right now.
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, the kid just kind of, he was in a couple of movies. I think this and Under Wraps were kind of like his leading roles, and he disappeared off the face of the earth. I think, I meant to look up his Wikipedia, or if there even was one.
You also got to look at like, well,
Nope, he doesn't have a Wikipedia, so.
Oh, okay. He just lives a normal life. Huh. Yeah. So
he's just like an English teacher somewhere. And he's like, yeah, I was in Warriors of Virtue.
What if it's like his? What if he's like weird and like that's his like he like uses it to like
his claim to fame,
like
thing?
rub in your face.
Oh, dude,
That'd be cool.
Okay, that's another rabbit hole.
Okay. And then our villain,
yeah,
Angus Macfadyen, who plays Komodo.
Also, cool bad guy name, by the way.
Komodo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it makes you think of Komodo dragon.
Well, yeah, and he's venomous. And he's a little snake.
Yeah.
Saw 3.
So, I mean, originally Saw 2. Saw 2 was his first one.
Is that the one where she falls into the needles? That's another franchise
that's one that after Saw 1, it all blends together for me.
Well, I remember Saw 3 because that's the one where the drunk driver dad guy.
Right? I thought that was Saw 2.
I thought Saw 2 was in the house.
Oh yeah, but at the end, oh yeah, because he's the drunk driver dad.
Yeah, and he's the one that's like making these like judgments on everyone involved in the persecution.
Yeah.
I actually remember liking that one. I like weird like dad revenge stories.
They're so weird.
Like Crow 2. Like I like that.
I don't really remember Equilibrium.
He's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy in Equilibrium, and then I don't really remember Braveheart. Is he the Englishman? That's actually like oppressing everybody in Scotland.
I don't know. Like Braveheart's one of those I think about it and I remember the key moments, but I don't recall him at all in it.
I just remember at the end. Do you like?
Do not scream freedom right now! I swear to God, you're about to, weren't you?
Freedom!
He did it out of spite.
I did. Did you saw my eyes go? Fuck you.
I mean, and also, Angus is like my favorite thing about this movie. Still,
no, yeah, he's crazy. It's one of those things where you can tell that Ronny Yu is probably just like, I don't know what he's doing, but it's working. Can you go? It's like go crazy.
Follow him. Yeah. Well, he just seemed like he was having the most fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of me is like, I wonder if he like agreed to this movie and then finally read that like the finalized script and he's like, this is a fucking joke. All right, fuck it. Yeah, I'm getting paid.
Do you think he was just like high and drunk constantly?
It looks like it.
I need my cocaine.
That's what he's swigging on, like the vials of the life force is actually just cocaine mixed with water.
Cocaine and Red Bull. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Really quick, I don't know if you saw this, but he plays Jor-El in the Superman and Lois show, the most recent one.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. I was like, oh. So yeah, the guy's actually like out of everybody, him and the other like kind of female lead have had like the most success of a career.
Well, except for the voice actors of the Rooz.
And that too, yeah.
I me's
so we need to let's pick this up a little. Marley Shelton, who's been in like she's in Scream 4,
Bubble Boy,
yeah,
Sandlot.
Yeah, that's right. She's the
lifeguard. Yeah. Fallon pointed that out. I was like, nice. Never been kissed.
Pleasantville. That's the one I was trying to remember.
I was trying to remember. Who's she in Pleasantville?
She is the first one that kind of out of like the teenagers that change color, and she's got like getting harassed by all the boys.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just hoping you were going to say that in a different way. Moving on.
How did you want me to say it?
No. I plead the fifth.
The other. No. Okay.
Then who else did you put down? Oh, Chao-Li.
No, actually, I was gonna go off a list. Because, yeah, I mean Doug Jones. I was gonna point out.
Isn't that Abe from Hellboy?
Yeah. I thought you'd be stupid. I thought you really liked Doug Jones.
Yeah, no, that's what I was
Okay,
like.
yeah.
And then he was also. Oh, wasn't he Shape of Water? No, was he in Shape of Water?
Yeah.
He was. He was
Yeah.
the sapien or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Oh, you're saying Chao-Li?
Yeah, Chao-Li, who plays Master Chung, who was in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I just want to point out how that movie, especially doing this review, that movie weirdly does just kind of
come up,
pop up randomly because of everyone involved in it. It just kind of like, oh, he was a writer. Oh, they were a producer. Oh, they were like a side character.
That's right. I actually did mean to actually bring up Chao-Li.
But yeah, I just thought that movie comes up a lot. It's weird.
Yeah, Big Trouble, Little China. He's the old Chinese man in Wedding Crashers. Okay.
Like, Prestige. That's the other thing I saw that I kind of recognized him from, actually.
But yeah, no, I definitely like recognize him from Big Trouble in Little China. Because he's a. Oh wait, no, he's not who I thought he was. Never mind. Let's just move forward.
Oh, let's give do you want to give a shout out to the in-suit?
Wait a second.
And the voice actors of the Rooz, just because.
No, who played Ming?
Oh, I forgot to.
There we go.
Like our crucial point of how he gets to this other world.
Yeah, Dennis Dune, and he is the best friend in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
you're right. He's just a little baby in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dennis Dunn. Oh, I didn't because it's like.
There's also like Lee Arenberg, who was in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, yeah, like
the dwarf.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. Like this movie strangely has like a handful of people that we've either been wanting to talk about or we have talked about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then do you want to so our in-suit people were Jack Tate, Doug Jones, as you said, Don Lewis, Jay Adam, and Adrian. Adrian Corcan. Sorry. And then for our voice actors for the same was Scott McNeil, Doug Parker, Dale Wilson, and Catherine Barr. Which it's one of those we could go on a list of.
We could go on a long list. We're spending a long time on this. We're already like a little over half hour into it, and we haven't even gotten to reviews. Okay. So we should actually just move forward.
But yeah, that was just gonna say. Yeah. Give credit to the voice actors. So there is no Metacritic for this, so I don't know what you have score wise, but
there was no Metacritic.
Nope.
Wow.
So yeah, scrounge.
IMDb, it's got a 4.7. Imagine that. And then its tomato meter rating is 18.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then audience score was 47. So this is definitely a lot more of like the audience.
I'm sure it's a nostalgia kick.
Yeah. Yeah. And it definitely hit me nostalgically. Mm-hmm. I remember really connecting with Ryan as a kid, just like feeling like this weird outsider with everything.
Well, yeah, he's also because he's like just every white 90s TV movie.
It's like Manic Pixie Dream Boy.
Yeah, it's like it's thick. Yeah. Like it's thick like mayonnaise.
So what were we able to find for reviews?
I just kind of scrounged around for a couple things, and then I just kind of determined whether I saw it as positive or negative.
Okay.
So for positive, a review I found was Gregory Wenkoff, enchantingly peculiar, and Angus is hilarious.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, well, okay. And then Roger Ebert I picked as mixed. The movie looks better than it plays and gets rather tiresome. And then for negative, Mark Salval, it sounds ridiculous, and rest assured, it is.
Yeah.
Because also this movie is an hour and 42 minutes, and it needs to
cut out so much.
Realize what it is and reel it in a little bit.
It's crazy just like how this movie is one of those things that it goes through the motions to get to the next point without really caring about how the logic of that is. Kind of like if you remember back when we were doing Hebrew Hammer, And
I blocked it out.
where I was talking about is like all of a sudden like they just have knowledge that this thing is like the bad guys just have knowledge that the good guys are doing this without any kind of like build or connection. It's like all of a sudden the bad guys know that the newcomer is with the Rooz or something. I forget exactly what it was.
Well, they're
oh no, they realized that their leader Rue has gone and joined back with them. It's like, where did you learn this information? You know?
Yeah, like they just found like he just.
It's like this just happened like a second ago, and you're like, hey, now.
Well, that's I mean, yeah, but that's that eat the carrot of like, oh, they've been scouting this area.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's also just it's a trend very much in early kids movies, and that's how it's if it's just stated that they have that knowledge, then now they have that knowledge type thing, and like a very it's yeah. The biggest problem I have with this movie actually is the fucking Dutch angles. It's like, why is almost every other shot? I'm like, what is happening?
Why was the frame rate so weird too?
I don't know. There was literally a moment where I was like, is something wrong with?
Yeah, is it buffering?
Yeah, what is happening with Tubi right now?
Well, it was like weird too because like I was really sitting there trying to figure it out, especially because glaringly apparent at the end scene because the end fight scene because it's so long.
Well, and I thought at first that it was like only going to be used for like during the martial art scenes, and which kind of like that choppiness kind of made it look like they're moving maybe faster type thing. It's like it's a play. What is it? It's a play with frame rate. So versus like what's actually you record something at a different frame rate, and then when you put it back at like the normal frame rate, then it speeds it up. I mean, that's like how you do slow motion versus you know.
Well, I figured the way they were filming it. Yeah. But it's like watching it, I was like, this choreography actually looks pretty cool, but it's this frame rate is utterly distracting because it looks like garbage. But it's like the movements they were doing looked cool, and with like him and his like with the sword, and he's all creepy and weird. Like,
did you try to like, or did you notice that every single time like it was the fight? I forgot to look up the choreographer for this, unfortunately. But the long hair, they would mask Komodo's face with his long hair, so it clearly Angus wasn't the one doing all of that. You know that,
obviously.
Yeah, but it's just like I was sitting there like really paying attention to the editing and just trying to catch like
what the person looked like.
Yeah. And even just like when
it's like a 20-year-old Asian guy.
Yeah, it probably was, dude.
Yeah, like honestly, let's be real.
And I was sitting there, and I was just thinking, I'm like, that's actually like, I wonder if they decided to give him long hair so they could just cover it up like that. And then I started to think about like a lot of martial arts films, like Western ones, where it's like clearly like this person wouldn't know martial arts. They have long hair, and they use the long hair to cover the face.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's a cheap way to do it.
I was like, wow. All right.
Throw a wig on him and call him a lady. Am
I pretty now, Daddy?
God, it's gonna be your weird new tagline. No, like, well, because I mean, but that's it. It was like, there was just so many, and it's like you can't really blame it. But even like when Komodo showed up at the end, his costume with the big gold, and I was like, what's up, Power Ranger villain? Like, what are you going to do?
Also, really quick, like, I know they kind of, like, they imply that he's powerful or whatever, but I thought he was going to be, like, a powerful wizard with the introduction at the beginning, because he is. Yeah, but it's like...
He is, like, a warlock.
But then, like, and all of a sudden he started actually, like, doing martial arts where you're kind of like, oh, what, really?
Well, but again, it kind of implied that they were all under. This is like a writing thing, like you were kind of talking about, where you just kind of take it. But it's kind of implied that him and General Grillo, or whatever his name was, Grillo, were in fact trained under Master.
No, I didn't get that from Komodo. I only got that from General Grillo.
I got that from because also
Grillo was like there's with the fucking what are the Rooz names? I'm forgetting.
Yun Yi.
Sorry.
Chi Sun. I'm missing one. I don't see it on here. Did I forget to write one down?
So it's Yun Yi Lai Chi Sun.
Sun. Okay, yeah. Lai. That's the one. The Lai is wood. Yeah. I got that feeling only because when he like has that conversation with
Also,
Master, like when he's dying. It's like,
also, just all of a sudden, like you get Yun, who's like, Grillo, you are one of us. You're a brother. You're like, wait, what?
so, but then Grillo responds with, "You forget. Even then, we are on opposite sides." You're like, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? You're like, what?
And then they fall into the fucking weird like blender machine thing and they stop it, whatever. And then it's like, oh, look, there's a hole. Also, that is a perfect example of a Deus Ex Machina.
The hole?
Yes. That is.
One day I'll get it. I'm not sitting here having you explain it to me. But I was thinking about the animatronic thing, though, because even at the end of the day, if you were to take a young child now, let's say like a 6-year-old or something, and you were to show them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's very possibly they'll be absolutely terrified of the way they look. But the thing is, the turtles have
the face and the mouth
and the lips, but it's like,
do you know what picture I'm talking about?
Okay. But it's like the thing is though is that even like then or like they're like, oh, it's scary. But the thing is, those turtles have so much personality, that the child might end up forgiving it because even then I was just thinking about that.
Like, cowabunga, dude.
Or like,
hey, Raph.
Or like, Donatello is sitting there. Man, it's a nice night. Really makes you think. Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds or we're getting it for free.
Yeah, and it's like, but the thing is with the Rooz, they never, there's no personality with any of them. The one that has the most personality is the metal one.
That doesn't talk?
He doesn't talk. But he's like...
And that's the one played by Doug Jones.
But he's like cute, that's why he's got because he doesn't talk for some reason. He makes these little, and he's like communicating without communicating. Anyways, I want to change it.
It's also Doug Jones, which also I feel like
that might be why.
Yeah,
because it's Doug Jones.
Yeah. There's a lot, man. We could actually. What's really weird is for a movie that wasn't very good. There's a lot to unpack, and we could talk about like the entire whole like. It's inspiration of Taoism. And like also when I was younger, I remember being kind of frustrated at it being what the 5 elements were. And because of researching this in Chinese astrology, for Eastern astrology, those are the 5 elements of life that actually like.
Yeah, it's the 5 agents or the 5 phases.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and say it in Mandarin, but or Cantonese because what is it?
It's not Cantonese.
Is it Mandarin?
It's actually Old Chinese, just an old. I don't think it's Mandarin either. It's another old like Chinese subscript.
It's like,
fuck you. Where was it? I actually had something. Where close? No. Chinese medicine stuff. Wuxi.
Wuxing.
Yeah.
Wuxing. But yeah, I thought
it translates to 5 actions. Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
So like I remember because like in Western ideology, we believe like the world like runs through the 4 elements. Air, fire, earth, and water. So it's interesting to see in like Chinese philosophy of like described with like interactions and relationships between things. It's wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So. Like it's really interesting. Is like that could be an entire thing to unpack. Is like the entire like Taoist, like meaning behind all of this stuff and whatnot. Like finding your inner virtue, which is what that's all about, and what this movie should be about. Also, like that's what I'm leading it down into this. What is the meaning of this movie? What is the theme? What is the metaphor in it? What is Ryan supposed to be learning here?
I don't know. It's that weird 90s thing where it's usually young boy has something. So Page Master, he's a agoraphobe basically. And then
it's pretty much like almost white savior complex thing. Because it's a white man coming into a foreign land who has strangely now mystical powers to help these people. But
the only thing with that though is that by saving them, it in turn helps save him from whatever his.
Yes, that's white savior complex. That's the white savior like.
Oh, I thought
problem.
white savior complex was just white people save the day.
Oh, sorry. Maybe complex is not the right word. It's the white savior meta for like the use.
All right, thank you for listening, everybody.
Jacob's brain shut down.
He needs a reboot.
Yeah. 1001100.
Or an orgasm. Robot orgasm.
It's white savior. I can't remember the term, but it's white savior. Because also then the white person then learns something about themselves through the foreign land that they're in, So
I mean that's also this like issue with the 90s too. So it's always this like really,
because Ming is kind of like the spiritual wise man,
the spiritual leader.
Yeah, the
guiding him, the spiritual guide,
the mystical Chinese man that gives him the Taoist book to find him,
that uses kung fu to cook food
and fried rice.
It was cool, but it was also like, what?
Also, what's really funny is I put the movie on again last night as I fell asleep, and it got to that point where he's like, "Hey Ryan, to your right," and he tosses it, and it's actually one shot, and it's the actual he like catches the fried rice in his bowl, and you see the kid that's playing Ryan just. Whoa! And then
because it actually happened.
Because it actually happened. You can see he's like, "What the fuck?"
I will put it on. I want to see that moment. Oh, but
and the larva.
No, but even
the cocoon.
Well, even like the fucking Alicia suddenly like being evil.
Yeah.
And it's like is it implied that the brother was killed by water kangaroo? Is that what they're implying?
So yeah, Yoon accidentally killed her brother.
Her brother. And so she's been like a double agent ever since that happened, working for Komodo. Okay. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, okay, that's definitely a carrot. Like, you're like, all right. Well, like, Komodo. Okay, what am I trying to say? I want to be Komodo in the remake because this would be such a fun role to do. Just screaming at people.
This movie, it's filled like, as I was talking about like weird cliches in Unleashed last week, this movie is just it's a giant cliche after cliche after cliche after cliche. Even just like the 90s bully who is like, he's somehow the bad boy and the football jock at the same time.
And he's got all the piercings.
Yeah. He's the quarterback, but also...
He looks like
It's like, what?
He looked like an edgier Chris O'Donnell.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
For a second, at his peripheral, I thought it was Chris.
That's funny.
Is Chris O'Donnell in this? And I was like, oh, no. But they're also trying to murder the crippled kid.
Right.
I was cracking up at this idea, like, as soon as
his friend Chucky, he's like, come on, man, you don't have to do it. Bleed. It's like, you're better than this.
Oh, like, the 90s stereotype. Like, God, this movie is... All of it. You're right. Everything about it was just a 90s cliche, which at the time, especially how young we were, we just didn't really see it.
I kind of did a little bit more.
But you're a little older than me.
Yeah, exactly. But I still enjoyed a little bit of the movie.
Well, yeah, but it's like, I had this really fun idea. I was like, the big water comes in and flushes Ryan down the giant toilet. And Brad, is that his name? Brad. Yeah. Obviously, his name's fucking Brad.
Ryan gets flushed into a foreign land.
Through a giant toilet.
The land of Tao.
I just even realized his name's Brad. The bully's name is Brad. Wow. Okay. But when he's like, oh my God, I really wanted a scene where it's them talking about what they're gonna do, that they drown to the local crippled kid.
Also, what the fuck? It's like he gets flushed down the silo toilet into the foreign land of Tao, and then all of a sudden he dies in Tao and reawakens before even crossing it. Like, what?
Why? But that's so many things. That's Peter Pan. That's Page Master.
Yeah, but there's not even like a moment where he kind of has like the Dorothy waking up.
He just suddenly is.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I was there. I didn't just die.
Well, then he looks at Chucky and he's like, I got a story to tell you. Like,
yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead and tell your friend about the talking kangaroos.
Like the way that it like wraps up going back into that moment, like
it was weird. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. The way it was done.
Yeah.
It's like you can eat the carrot and be like, okay, they woke up from.
It's like, I had a dream and you were there and you were there and you were there.
I'm trying to think the way it is. Like, you'd probably change a lot of stuff.
It seems like
Sorry, that just registered.
What?
And you were there, and you were there. That just registered. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like so funny because I've been talking about doing this movie for a while.
Yeah.
But it's like whenever I think of this movie, I just think of that scene where
no thoughts.
Yeah, Komodo's laying there.
Yeah.
And I never caught it as like as a kid, but catching as an adult, he like brings the general over and he's like, like, without the life spring, I won't survive. And he's like, no. And he's like, do you expect me? I like the way he was like always talking these weird little riddle kind of like things. But then he like sends him away again, but he goes, no, wait, come back. And he pulls him back closer and he goes, is purple my color? It was like so unnecessary, but weird.
Very unnecessary. I remember that happening. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
It was so weird.
It's like part of me makes me wonder, like, was he dared to say that and they just kept it in?
It feels like he just like they're like, here's your character, and he ran with it.
Yeah.
That's what it really feels like. And that's like a way to do a great villain.
Yeah.
It's just like, can I do whatever I want?
Yeah. Also, like, there's just like his like abilities just keep like increasing through this movie to where like when he's going to fight all the Rooz and then all of a sudden there's 5 of him. It's like, and now he just has that ability too. Like,
I kind of dug that actually because he's sitting there and he's meditating and they all like show up. I was like, we haven't really been introduced to enough like henchmen to actually be a threat to the Rooz.
Yeah.
Is he just gonna fight all 5? Like, that's gonna be kind of boring because it's gonna be this weird, I don't know. But then when he like, I just thought it was also like, if it was just shot better, it was terrifying because he does the slamming into the ground. He comes out with the sword. He's like laughing maniacally, and then you slowly hear more of them.
Yeah,
I was like, that's kind of cool. That would have been terrifying.
Weird
if it was just a better movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been a creepy like, oh shit, he's like able to clone himself. Like fuck. But then also,
there's
how
just
did he die?
They found the power of friendship through Ryan's death.
Dude, they totally Captain Planet it.
Yeah.
Earth, fire, wood. I didn't even.
Yeah, dude.
The Ted Turner Captain Planet.
It's like with our powers combined and Ryan's soul.
Yeah, that was weird. Komodo, we may not be able to defeat you, but Ted Turner can. Captain Planet.
No, and then and then is of course for it to be like the kids movie is like all of a sudden Komodo like now he's reborn. He's like, I'm lost. Can someone help me?
Yeah,
You're home now.
Yeah, like he needed some like redemption arc. They couldn't actually kill him. They needed to make his.
No, because also they can't. They're not supposed to kill. That's the whole,
the Rooz. Okay,
Rooz,
I was like, who are you? Who's they? Who's they can't kill?
The Batmans. Come
on.
Yeah, the Rooz. It's like part of their creed is like to not kill.
Yeah.
So which is why Yoon goes to like he. That's why he's
self-exiled.
Yeah, exiling.
Well, no, but even there's a thing too. They talk about how he's given up the will to fight. 30 seconds later, he's kicking the shit out of the guys trying to kick. He's like, help, and he like looks like he's not going to do anything, and then suddenly he like pops up and he kicks the shit out of all 3 of them. Like, that looks like fighting, bro. That doesn't look like. You put down your sword, sure, but
it's not fighting. It's falling with style.
It's falling with style. I would, not gonna lie, I would love a replica of his sword. I thought his sword was
his
sick.
sword is pretty cool.
It was cool. And then it has like a weird explosion trigger on it.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized that the little person that's in the movie just came into my mind.
Oh, the one always trying to get rewards.
Yeah, and he's like, they need you, right? The Rooz.
What does he say to him? I was like, oh, you can get away with that. Say, what does he say to him? What does Ryan say to him?
I don't remember.
Get out of here, you 2-footed little creep or something like that. I was like, oh no, that's not good. This movie is 90s.
So yeah, I guess like kind of going back is like it felt like this movie was like one extremely long journey for it to be like Ryan to learn to just be true to himself.
Oh yeah, we got on a tangent, but that's kind of the thing though that's what I was gonna say is like all these movies are these fantastical lessons that you do hopefully learn just from living and growing up. But all these movies are these like, you know, I mean, I guess from the ones we reviewed, the only one with like real like levity to it would be like James and the Giant Peach, because he's also trying to get away from his incredibly abusive aunts.
Yeah, I feel like Page Master, the whole thing of like of the main character wanting to like learning courage, learning like from the books, he learns a different part of himself, you know, through each adventure, you know. Like Page Master, as much that movie was fucking bonkers, there was an actual like guidance of lessons, you know. This is literally just like,
oh, that's right, because you had each chapter, you had adventure, you had horror, you had fantasy.
This is literally Ryan also like, come on, give us the book, Ryan. He's like, can you show me the ruse?
Oh yeah, and like I thought, I was like, you little honey sack of shit.
Yeah, it's like,
fess up, fess up. What is also with the 90s and these like god awful made for the movie songs that they just like shove in there somewhere.
So
they're
good.
Terrible.
So good.
They're so bad. I was like, oh, as soon as that came out, I was like, okay, there it is. I was wondering
when it was going to happen.
When it was going to happen.
We're running a little long, and we're at 56 right now.
I got nothing else to say about it. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot I could unpack, but I don't want us to just be talking for way too long. It's definitely a trip. It feels like a weird fever dream.
Oh yeah, we didn't start off with that. That's the block. We're doing like fever dream kids movies where you're like, huh, yeah, that did happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say though, if you have like a young kid that's into like martial arts and stuff like that, it's simple enough.
Yeah.
That it will keep your kid entertained. I just warn you, don't show it to them because they might like it and you'll have to watch it multiple times. Like it's one of those movies I like watch it. I'm like, I feel bad for my parents.
Yeah,
because I really like this movie when I was a kid.
I think I only watched it like once or twice.
I should ask my mom, but I think I really liked this movie. I wonder if I owned any of the toys. That'd be cool. But yeah, I mean, it's like it's fun.
What's your rating?
2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because like the Ebert review kind of said too, it's like I think it was Ebert, but it's intriguing watch because they did make a world.
Yeah.
They made a pretty cool fantasy world.
Yeah. Just Tao is awesome.
Yeah, just aesthetic. Awesome. It's a cool like place to be.
We also didn't even bring up like the other like anthropomorphic animals.
The rhino and the water buffalo.
Also, I was sitting there thinking like, do you think they're all vegetarians or do they eat animals?
They eat small little white boys named Ryan. Yeah. I don't know. It was just a weird thought. That was a weird thought.
It's a
like the
world.
The world is it's a cool fantastical world. You know, it's just weak writing. Because like we were saying, because even like
it's cliche after cliche.
The animatronics are terrifying. I was reading an article about this woman explaining to her partner about this nightmare she would have, and then apparently he was like Googling something as she was talking and then showed her the trailer. She was like, started unlocking these memories about how this movie gave her nightmares about giant kangaroos chasing her through the forest.
That is so funny.
Yeah, because they are pretty creepy. Yeah. Because so I watched it and like 3/4 of the way in, my partner walked in and saw it, and it was just a shot of the kangaroos, and she was like, "What the hell is that?" It's like the kangaroos. She's like, "That's a kangaroo." It's like, well, like a humanoid anthropomorphic kangaroo that knows kung fu. The amount of times my partner walks in and is like, "What the hell is that?"
And then it's like, did Jacob choose this movie?
It's never porn or anything. It's just some random ass weird movie. She's like, "What are you?" The last one was Event Horizon. She's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I mean, that's a weird thing to walk into.
Yeah, I get that one for sure. But yeah, the animatronics are still cool. Like they might, and it's like I just think the biggest bummer is that and I want to kind of like I wish the DVD would work. Was it because to see if there's any like
like special feature
Or,
or something.
behind the scenes.
I highly doubt there is.
because I'm just like the fight.
Because if there was, there would be information on it on Wikipedia or somewhere else.
True, somewhere. But yeah, it's just like the choreography looks pretty solid to me for this thing.
Yeah.
For like a Power Ranger, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing. And it just, the frame rate just made it really distracting.
Yeah, that was really weird. And then once it finally like dropped out of that frame, like, and I was sitting there, I'm like, if the frame rate stays like this, because like knowing that he's going to go back to the real world, I was like, if the frame rate stays like this, I'm going to chalk it up to just like,
this is the world.
No, this is just like this is just Tubi going like weird. And I was like, okay, then I'll just try to rebuff or maybe rewatch it. And then no, it goes back to normal. I was like, that was a choice.
Well, like even no wrapping up, but even like I remember so distinctly. There's a scene where one of the Rooz gets kicked, flies over, hits the wall, and once they hit the wall, their drop is normal frame rate, and then it goes back.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, once you know, it's so jarring because it's like, and then smooth. It's really bizarre. It's a weird, but yeah. So I give it a 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an interesting world. Even like the world, like the culture and everything with it, like just everything about it's actually. There's a lot of really cool ideas, and it's just like not a really good script.
Yeah, and it was interesting with the whole like kind of trying to meld the two.
Yeah, I think we're kind of going in circles right now.
Yeah, it was just so.
Next week, Star Kid.
I think it's the kid from Jurassic Park. Now that I think about it,
I think it is too. Yeah,
it is, right? I just saw the poster for it because it was do you see after?
Yeah.
I was like,
I recommended. I was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Awesome.
So
cool.
we're gonna do 1998's Star
97.
Kid.
Same year.
I thought it was 98.
I think it's the same year.
Oh, on Tubi it said 98.
We'll figure that out next week.
Figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna do Star Kid, another
fever dream. About alien tech. It's like Alien Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, so this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
He's getting bitchy. This is
I have to poop.
Oh my god. They did not need to know that. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. No, just go.
Poopy, pee pee.
No, wait. I can't do it. What's his name?
I don't know. Bye.